building a fizzer. Both wanna be right, loose side can't cut with one blade in a scissor. Are you willing to go away when I want you to stay?
In a giant sea of cool podcasts, you finally found the one.
Yeah.
That kicks the cool to the curb.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Welcome to Kick the Cool.
All right, we got it in one.
I'm your big sister, Shishi.
I'm your big little brother, Tone.
What? I'm your little brother, Wopsle.
And we are here to give you the reviews you didn't know you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was just thinking about this, guys.
What a weird sensation when we're just talking and then I look around and realize we're inside the podcast and I didn't write. Like just now we're there. I don't think it's ever happened before.
I really didn't expect it to come out on the first time.
But it came out so good, you were like, keep rolling.
I'm rolling with it, dude.
Okay, fair enough.
Sounded good inside my head.
All right.
So,
Sounded good out here.
the reason I did that is because I'm just kind of thinking about, like, we've been hit or miss on our recording lately. And, you know, it's like life gets in the way, whatever. But it's not life gets in the way. We just have bad attitudes. And sometimes, you know, we're rock stars now and we just can't be bothered to show up to gigs. And, you know, so I was thinking about all the stuff that goes along with that. Like poor old Carl is running around cleaning up our hotel rooms like crazy, right? He has to shelling out all this money. When I threw that chair through the window, he had to go and pick it, you know, he had to go smooth it over.
Yeah, I'm okay with telling. Last week we were ready to record and I showed up and my water was tepid. And I was like, that's it? I'm out. And I refused to record. You don't, like I asked for lukewarm water, not tepid. It's very distinct difference. And I'm not going to work under conditions like that anymore.
No, I mean, and we shouldn't have to. We're way too important and famous for that. I mean, you know.
That's true.
I mean, Tone, is your dressing room been okay lately, Tone?
Yeah, it's the same as it's always been. I just trash it. I'll walk through my dressing room and just knock something off the table like a cat. You know, like,
well,
just because I'm such a rock star.
And I know that, you know, you don't like to let the cleaning lady in. So, you know, that time that you threw her out and she's kind of scared of you now because you yelled at her. So I can see, you know, where that would, you just rather live in the filth, right?
Yeah, totally. And I also, it's weird with her. I told her to call me Robert Plant and she doesn't, but I get mad every time she doesn't. And then I don't let her in to clean. And so, yeah, me and the cleaning lady not having a good time.
Yeah.
But you guys can call me Robert Plant if you want to. But you're such big stars. You're such big rock stars that it doesn't matter.
If we call you Robert Plant?
Yeah. You can get away with not doing it.
Oh, okay.
Because you're such a big rock star.
And we're siblings. That really doesn't count for much when you're famous, though. It's
That's true.
You know. Fame is thicker than blood.
I've never thought about that. Does Ozzy Osbourne have siblings? And if so, whenever he's being all hardcore, are they like, dude, you peed your pants on that Grand Canyon trip. Like, I was there.
Yeah. I've thought about that too, because like you have this really famous person, it can be actors or rock stars or whatever, but then they have siblings that are just like accountants. And, you know, and what if you're that sibling? And we won't ever know that because we're all famous. We're like the Baldwin brothers. But, you know, what if I was the only famous one and you guys were just what you are now?
Then, one good thing about that, if you were the famous one and Wopsle and I were not famous, then you would be the one that shot the lady. So...
Oh, that's out of bounds.
So, was that too soon?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
On that note, I'm going to get rid of your attitude because we're going to go. Oh, go ahead.
Can I say one thing about famous siblings? I have a close friend here in Tulsa, who is working on the house of the sister of Meatloaf. She lives here in Tulsa.
Sister?
And I said, Meatloaf has a sister? And the first words out of this guy's mouth were, Well, she doesn't sing or anything. She's not into music.
Is her name Gravy?
Yeah, she's stuffing, and so it's just a whole family affair. But no, she's just like a normal person living here in Tulsa. And so just yesterday, I learned about this lady, and I'm like, what does she think of Meatloaf? I mean, think about it. One day he went from, what is his name? Steve, probably? He went from, hey, I'm Steve, to like, hey, now everyone's going to call me Meatloaf. And again, the first day you do that, your siblings have to be like, forget you.
Yes.
No way possible, buddy.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really happy for you, but, take it down a notch. Okay.
Well, there's certain things that you do, whenever you're talking to everybody else. And then there's certain ways. But I don't think you can, Wopsle. I don't think you can go in and be like, all right, siblings, my name is now Meatloaf, and you have to call me that. Because you're going to get razzed so hard.
Uh-huh. Yeah, your name is Butthead still and forever. Okay.
Unless, let me propose one scenario, though. I did have a guy in high school.
High school.
I did have a guy in high school who decided what his nickname was, and it was going to be Big O. So he told us all to call him Big O, and we said, not in a million years are we going to call you Big O. But it was so funny that he came up with his own nickname that then we called him Big O to make fun of him. And then
it was his nickname.
6 to 8 months in, his nickname is now Big O. And I'm like, bro, he is playing 4D chess.
That was a flex.
We're over here playing tic-tac-toe. So is that what Meatloaf did? Everyone was like, oh, we'll call you Meatloaf, all right, with air quotes. And then eventually, he was just actually Meatloaf.
Yeah, and everyone's cool with it.
He wins. All right.
Okay, well, anyway, sorry about the hotel rooms, Carl. You're the man.
Yeah, sorry, Carl.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the reviews. And Tone's up first this week. What do you got, Tone?
All right. Well, every week we start off with a listener suggested topic. And this week I'm going to, of course, honor that tradition. And we're going to talk about something that is very boring. I don't want any jokes. We're not going to do any jokes this time.
Wow.
But it's we're gonna cover hotels, and Jonathan, one of our biggest fans, sent this in. So Hotels by Jonathan. Wopsle, what do you think about hotels?
I remember as a kid, hotels were it. The town we came from, pizzas didn't deliver because it was a little town. But when we went to a hotel, every time it was pizza delivery. So those are kind of one and the same to me, that pizzas deliver to hotels. So
right.
I love everything about the hotels, I guess is what I'm saying, except for the rooms and the halls and the bed and the shower. Everything except the hotel.
So you're cool with the front desk.
It's like camping, basically.
Yeah, maybe so.
You love being there, but you hate everything about it.
Yes. The idea, stellar. Perfect. I'm on board. Every time I'm doing it, I'm like, ugh, now I'm at the hotel again? What?
And she, what do you think about hotels?
Okay, well, so I hadn't stayed in a hotel for a really long time until I got my previous job with this grant, federal grant that we take kids to conferences and all this stuff. So we always stay at the conference hotel, which is always in the Hilton of whatever city we're in. So I'm kind of spoiled because there was one trip we had to change hotels in the middle because of the different, I don't know, they had different packages going on. So we went from a Hilton to the DoubleTree by the airport, and the DoubleTree was like Hilton from the 70s. I think it's a Hilton property because it had the same towels and the same kind of sheets and the same bed. So it was really comfortable, but it was just a little bit off brand, just a little bit old. Looks like that when they were remodeling the Hiltons, this is where all of that old stuff went when they were upgrading the Hiltons. But yeah, so I'm a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh. And that's really where my fame attitude kicked in, because I was like, I am too good for this hotel. I've been staying in Hiltons and now I'm at the DoubleTree by the airport.
At the front desk, you're checking in and you're like, call me Meatloaf.
Yeah. I want only green M&Ms. That's it. Please have them on my dresser when I get up there. But I love hotels.
I think that most people love hotels because it's like a vacation, a little mini vacay. But I think that most of us aren't real cool with the whole concept of sleeping in the same bed that the last guy did. Mm-hmm. It's real iffy, real shifty right there.
I don't care.
I worked in a hotel for a couple of years in a Holiday Inn, and I know what the cleaning ladies do and don't do when it comes to a hotel room. And you don't want to know. Don't ever have me tell you that story.
Well, I just prefer bliss, and that means ignorance. So, but my hotel rooms have always been really clean, seeming. I added the word seeming on the end because they do smell good. It seems like, the things are washed regularly.
Yeah, the appearance of clean is nice.
It's good enough for me.
Yes.
Oh, the thing that does get me, though, is the shower. For some reason, since the surface has been wet before, like this, every surface could have been wet
I was going to say, that's true of the mattress, too. I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Damn it. But when I'm standing in the shower, I'm like, I really don't want to be standing on this shower floor. I don't know why it's the shower and nothing else. I don't even care if a kid peed the bed because they have a mattress cover over the mattress. It's like, I don't even care. But in the shower, I'm just assuming that they didn't clean it between us. Of course they did, right?
Not necessarily.
The shower's there for cleaning. So why, how would you clean a bar of soap? You can't, right? The soap does the cleaning. I think a shower might be the same thing.
Oh, no. No one. Okay, well, now I'm right to be skeeved.
It's great when you find a big, long hair, a wet hair in the shower. That's great.
Yeah.
That's not happened to
See,
me.
yeah, you're staying there. There is a huge difference because, like, in a really nice hotel, they're paying their employees a lot better than they are at the cheap hotel, right? Mm-hmm. So
true, yeah, and the tips are probably better because more high rollers at the more expensive hotels.
Exactly.
I do have a story. Now, I haven't always just stayed at Hilton's. I have also stayed at the cheapest. It's probably out of business now, and it was $25 a night. This was back in the early 90s.
Wow.
That was still really effing cheap, okay?
Right.
That was still like worrisomely cheap. And there was a reason for it. So, first of all, the shower was clogged, so it just filled up. When you took a shower, it just filled up a little more and a little more and a little more. It had not been cleaned. There was underwear under the bed and empty liquor bottles under the bed. So, and yes, we looked because it was like we were afraid someone was hiding under there or,
You were like, phew, just underwear and liquor bottles. We were lucked out on that one.
And we were like, oh, it's really, yeah. Yeah. So it was like, it's $25. That's really cheap. But how bad could it be? There are standards that hotels have to abide by.
Now, did you stick your hand under that bed and pull out those underwear?
I did not. I left them where they were. I thought, if that's where the owners wanted the underwear, that's where it would stay. It wasn't up to me to redecorate the room.
That's right. Yeah, the hotel, the people who run the hotel, they were like, okay, that's the underwear room, and that's how they remember it.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling there was underwear under every bed in that
majority of the rooms. I love a hotel where you call the front desk and you say, hey, there's the shower's clogged and there's underwear under my bed. And they're like, I know, right? Must have been crazy.
Right.
You're like, oh, yeah, I guess so.
No, they were tidy whities. They weren't fun underwear.
Oh.
So.
I know, right?
How great
is that?
Grandpa had an awesome time in there.
And so what I would do, of course, is I would go down to the front desk and I would say, there was some underwear in my room and I didn't like that. And they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. We'll come and get that right now. And I'll be like, don't bother. I'm wearing them.
I took care of the problem. They're no longer under the bed.
They're no longer under the bed. No one else has to worry about this. I was really just coming down here to brag.
Would you like to see them?
Well, I guess I have to tell this story. So I was working at a Holiday Inn, and I was in the banquet. I was the banquet manager, and so we had to work a 24-hour shift. And so we got done with this 24-hour shift, and we were like, we have to have some beer. And so at the time I was a drinker. And so we had some beer, and then I passed out, forgetting that I needed to do one last thing. And that was meet the new person who was having a banquet, meet them downstairs at the front desk. And so they call the room that I'm in where I'm passed out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I jump up, I run downstairs, don't even brush my teeth. And I've drank probably a 12-pack of beer. And I go up to her, and it was the greatest moment. I've never seen anybody do this before. She recoiled. She recoiled from me because my breath smelled like beer. I said, hi. And she was like, whoa, buddy.
Oh, no.
And so, yeah. And I was like, oh, I had like a bachelor party. I'm so sorry. And she was like, nope, not cool. Bring me somebody else that doesn't smell like a brewery.
Oh, no.
You brought up a totally unrelated point that I've never thought of, and that's, why is the greeting that we do the most breathy word in the English language? Like what if instead of it was like whelp? Like that would be like, if whelp were how we greeted one another, that's pretty contained, like within the mouth. That would be better.
Or even yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have an plosive, or, it doesn't.
Maybe.
That whelp.
Mm-hmm. You could go.
Or, how about just keeping your mouth closed? That's our new greeting.
A woman extends her hand. I shake it. She says hello. And I say,
That might be preferable to projecting your brewery breath.
Right.
Very slightly preferable.
Or if they say good morning, you can say Oh, the next handshake, the next introduction I have that isn't important, I promise you I'm keeping my mouth closed. So I will report back as to how it went. It's going to be great. I'm just going to try it out, see how it goes.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to rate this puppy.
I have to point out that this is the first time that we've had an overlap in names. So we had a Jonathan, listener Jonathan, was my coworker. He suggested, oh darn, I can't remember what he suggested, but he suggested something a few episodes ago, and now we have another Jonathan. So we need to start using the last initials. Jonathan B is my friend from work, and who is this?
Jonathan.
This is Jonathan.
Huh?
Oh. Jonathan B and Jonathan Fly was the joke I was making.
Oh,
that will almost certainly be cut out at this point.
I didn't. I wish that I had been able to hear that, because that's
Jonathan
really great.
Jonathan Mosquito. All right, so Jonathan Mosquito, Wopsle, he wants to know, what do you rate hotels?
All right, Jonathan, and I would like to apologize in advance for this rating, as I often should probably have done. But I will rate hotels 1 overnight stay on a school trip in bed with a stranger that's a classmate.
Right. Right.
So awkward. So awkward.
Oh my gosh, that's so harsh.
They just pair you up. So I rated that.
You're going to sleep with that guy.
Oh, okay then.
And meanwhile, in my Hilton, I had 2 king beds all to myself. So.
All right, Shishi, what do you rate Hotels by Jonathan?
I rate Hotels by Jonathan 19 out of $25.
Wait, why 19? Did you get a refund or something?
No, just because that room sucked.
Okay.
It was worth $19.
You charge them back for the cleaning up of the underwear. You're like that. I get a discount, right?
Right.
For taking care of that.
So that's
little
worth
problem.
$6.
Sure. Just in my rating. 30 years later.
Right. Back then you were like, I know what I'll do to make this all right. One day I'll review it on my podcast.
That's right. Which I don't know what it is yet, but I know it will exist someday. And then I'm going to rate it and I'm going to deduct the amount of the underwear under the bed from my rating.
Got him.
Got him.
Well, I'm going to have to rate Hotels by Jonathan 1 large pair of Grandpa's tidy whities.
That's right.
Just one.
Just one.
But a pair.
Yeah, one pair.
All right. Well, okay. Thanks. That was a really funny topic, Jonathan. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Jonathan Mosquito. So I think Wopsel's up next. Let's go, LLB. What do you got?
You know, we're going into the cool season as we're recording this here in Oklahoma, where the ice can get bad, the weather can go crazy, and so I've been thinking about power outages, and then also recently, about a month ago now, we had this big Facebook outage that threw the entire world into disarray. So I think it's time before a bunch of outages come that we review outages of all kinds, whatever. So what kind of outages do you think about?
Well, first I need to know, how did you guys feel about the Facebook outage? Did you notice it?
Oh, very much. Yeah. There was something going on where it was like somebody was supposed to respond to me in a timely manner, and,
and you were
no one.
Why did they hate me?
Yeah. Why did they hate me?
Was it
No,
me?
it wasn't.
Because you're all often left on red with us. Because, the rock star thing.
That's right.
Well, okay. So outages are really annoying. I did not notice that Facebook was out. I think I tried to get on there and it wasn't working, but that happens sometimes. So I was like, okay, I'll fool with it later. And then the next day, everybody was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Did you see that? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm working too hard right now. Work's kicking my butt. I ain't got time for Facebook. I just gotta, it's fine. So, and it was really kind of freeing. Like first I felt left out. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I'm not beholden to it anymore. That feels good. So,
right.
So we have all kinds of outages, right? I don't have a list, but I could get one real quick if you'd like.
Well, yeah, Tom, what do you think? What do you think about outages?
Well, I mean, so we had and this is a different type of outage, but we had a Walmart delivery order scheduled for last night, and we had like 30 items on the order. All but 11, I think, were not in stock.
Oh,
they were out. So that's another kind of outage. But I've heard big problems are afoot with all these ships that can't get in or whatever, and they're now experiencing a lot of outages because of that.
Yeah, I was thinking about those kind of outages too. Like you could call that maybe a shortage sometimes, like when we have the great toilet paper shortage, right? Last year, like whoever thought that. In our student ministry, we often give away things like iTunes gift cards or like Chick-fil-A gift cards. We were giving away rolls of toilet paper because it was the most valuable thing that we had to give away at the height of the toilet paper outage.
Oh gosh!
And people were loving it. Yeah, so those kind of outages that affect us all negatively are just so interesting. It's like, why are we out of fishing poles? Like, what happened that nobody has a fishing pole all of a sudden? I don't know.
Go to the pawn
That's
shop.
a great question.
There's a lot of fishing poles at the pawn shop.
I think whenever I think of outages, the first kind I think of is a power outage. And I have never not enjoyed a power outage.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, except if it's really cold.
Well, even some of the cold ones,
Even-
as long as I can, keep my feet covered, it's still pretty fun. It's like so much better.
Yeah, so like whenever everything goes dark and you're like, woo, You get that little thrill right at first. Oh, let's go find the candles.
Right.
And why wouldn't we be like, I was irritated and felt very put out by Facebook being out, but I don't feel that way when the power goes out. Now, then I do. So I don't at first, but then I do whenever I go to flip on the light when I walk into a new room.
Right.
Every single time.
Man.
Every time.
If the Earth were to ever
Well-
lose power, I promise you, a year into that problem, I would still be flipping light switches walking in.
Right.
I know. Yes. Totally.
Never not doing that. Yeah.
And you feel stupid every time.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, I knew better than that.
Yeah. Every time I do it, I go,
Oh.
idiot. I can have a candle or a flashlight in my hand to shine the way into the bathroom.
Yes.
And still flip the
You
lights.
still flip it.
Yep. And then, of course, after a while, if you don't flip them back off again, when the power comes back on, you've got,
Ooh.
you know, your house is lit up like a way.
Yeah. That's true. When the power finally comes back on and everything, beep, beep, and everything's starting back up.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And then it's a little disappointing, but still a little exciting at the same time.
Right.
when
You're
it
like,
comes
oh, thank
back on.
goodness. And then you're like, oh, man, I'm never going to finish this puzzle. Like, I'm not
Right,
going
I'm
to
not-
get back to it.
And now it's going to be another year before I play my guitar.
Yeah, or Monopoly.
And that's what I think is so weird. All of those things are an option, even when the power's on, but like they're so not at all an option. Ooh, and work, you maybe think about, remember in school when the power would go out? Like, it was the best. It was just chaos. All of a sudden, you were like, I think we're immediately in Lord of the Flies territory now.
Yes.
Like, it's all
Totally.
up for grabs.
Well, and one of the best places that it could happen was at where we went to elementary school in Prague, because the elementary school is underground to protect against tornadoes.
Yes.
So there are no windows. There's no natural light coming through at all. So when the lights go out, it is truly scary down there.
Yeah. It's the darkest
And
you
you
can
get-
experience on this.
And
Right.
you get that collective scream from the entire school all at once. That happens even when you are above ground. You get that collective scream.
It's so good. So I think power outages is always good. So which kind of outage is always bad? I think like toilet paper is pretty much always bad.
Phone.
Phone.
If your phone goes out,
Oh, yeah. Your phone being
Yeah.
out sucks.
Yeah.
that's really bad.
And a lot of times the outage of a phone, like I think about a big tornado that happened here in Oklahoma not long ago, and all the cell phone towers were either destroyed or like jammed because everyone was trying to get a hold of their loved ones. And so it was like really, really a bad outage. That's a good call. I think overall, if I don't think about specifics, if you ask me if I like outages, I think I like them because it forces us out of our normal routine. And I think that that's usually a healthy thing, although some can be bad. But, then I do think there's some stuff that's in between good and bad. Like recently, Roblox was down for like something like 40 hours.
Whoa.
There's a lot of upset kids at the library, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of
that's
upset
what they
kids
do
in the
there.
Wopsle household as well. And so then they're looking at me and I'm like, well, it's down. And they're like, what does that mean? Like, well, like it's out. And, they can't comprehend. Like, it's just this thing that's always there. And like our internet in our house was still good, but just Roblox was down.
Right.
So yeah, that was a big bummer. It was a pretty big deal for a certain demographic.
So did you explain how the internet works
Right.
to
Yeah.
Coda?
I did. I said, so there's this wizard, okay, and he is in charge of keeping everything connected. And sometimes when his hands gets tired, he drops his arms and then Roblox goes down.
Or he got he got too into the cryptocurrency mining. That's what happened.
That's right.
The wizard is
He
busy
didn't have
mining.
time for Roblox.
The wizard is
that's
busy
just-
mining Dogecoin, and he can't keep your Roblox running right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And again, even that one was, gave us a chance to play Hot Wheels instead of Roblox. So again, even that outage ended up being a positive one. So here's to all the outages that we are almost certainly about to endure in Oklahoma, in the cold places as the ice comes on. So to prepare everybody the most for these, I think we need to give them our ratings. So you're up first. What do you rate outages?
I'm going to rate outages 35 out of 40 Roblox.
Awesome.
Oh, wait, is that singular?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. And now you've got me thinking about it. So well done. That's what the best ratings do. Okay, Tone, what do you rate outages?
Well, there's one outage that we didn't cover, but I think if this thing could have an outage, I think. No, but what if your crypto went out? So I'm going to rate it. I'm going to rate outages 1 crypto outage. Just 1 out of 1.
Oh, boy.
Oh, here's a question before we do the last one. Is male pattern baldness, would you count that as like an outage of hair?
Yeah, slow moving hair outage. Yeah.
Yeah. My hair has been experiencing an outage since I was 19 years old.
Okay, well, I am going to rate outages pretty high. I like them. 4 out of 4 burners on the gas stove.
Oh, gosh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Got to heat that house, the entire house with
Heat
those
that
4
house.
burners. Yep.
You're and if you have all electric, no gas, you're in big trouble.
You're cold.
All right, it's time for our 5-star review. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so damn fed up that you gotta complain. Write a letter. You'll feel better. Reviews.
All right, this week's 5-star review is flirting. I'm not sure why Flirting wanted to sponsor our podcast because none of us do that,
Right.
really. But they wanted to, and so, it's free money. All we have to do is talk a little bit about flirting, and I used to flirt,
I don't know if I remember what it's like.
I was going to say, we're not flirting. I'm not sure that anybody's flirting. I think that's why they're advertising. They're trying to get the word back out on it.
Oh,
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, flirting is just responding on Tinder, and that's probably not the definition of flirting. So we do.
Yeah.
We all must have flirted one day in our lives, right?
I guess so.
Sometime.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, when I was younger and everyone else was much hotter, it was easier to flirt. I think now we all kind of look like crap at my age. So it's like I don't need to flirt with you because, first of all, I'm in a relationship and you are too, and you have kids that I don't want to deal with. So where's it really going? We're both ugly. So
As you get older, you get better at playing out the entire relationship in your head before you say a word, and you're like,
Indeed.
nah, not going to start
Indeed.
it. Not going
not
to go.
even
worth
going to
it.
start it.
No, not worth it.
And I think that I used to flirt without realizing that's what I was doing. I thought I was just being friendly. But if you're too friendly to certain people, they think it's flirting.
Right.
So
Right,
that's
right.
just a fine, awkward line that you have to walk. Maybe not so much as a man. I don't know.
I was gonna say, it's harder for
Yeah.
you, She, because it's not really a fine line you're walking. It's if female says word to male equals flirting.
That's true.
just-
That's the line.
Yeah.
That's
that
the
was
line
my
I'm walking.
experience.
Say word, say no word. That's the line. Well, you know what though? It's very freeing when you hit your 50s. Nobody thinks that you're flirting with them, even
That's
if you
right.
are. You have to be really overt with someone for them to think that you're flirting with you at age 50.
Right. Now, my version of flirting now, like when I was younger, it was different. But now my version of flirting, because of what you're saying, She, is a little elbow to the ribs and a wink and a wink.
And a wink. Is that
Yep.
flirting?
Yep.
Well, now flirting.
But as we've established before, I can't wink. I just blink both of my eyes. So I just elbow them and start blinking.
So when you want to have sex with someone, you elbow them and wink
Yeah.
and blink at them.
Yeah. If it gets windy, a little sandstorm, everybody in the crowd is like, dude, Tony's into me. Like, he will not stop blinking.
He's angry about the game, so his elbows are flying, sand's in his eyes.
But that's the thing. I don't know if you saw in the copy that Flirting sent us to read that they have now, they're selling a flirting hat. It's got a big light on it, like an on-air light for Insta Studio.
Yes.
So you can just flip it on when you're flirting, and if it's off, then it's not flirting. So I think that'll really help.
It's a great idea.
It'll help people flirt
man.
with confidence or talk without being scared of flirting.
Right.
Yeah, because a wedding ring is so ambiguous. A lot of people flirt with wedding rings on, but a light that you actually have to push a button and turn it on,
Yep.
I need that.
Now it is a bucket hat, so that's going to kind of harm your chances of success. But at least people will be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be an untapped market there for sexy flirting hats.
Ooh, that's probably 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
Flirting 2.0.
Oh, here's a low tech version. We're gonna put out a T-shirt, Kick the Cool T-shirt, that if you lower the flap on the front, it says flirting underneath. Then when you're done flirting, you put the flap back up and it says Kick the Cool.
Ooh, I like that.
Or you could just lower it to say no flirting. I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to develop a product here. You have to think of all the options.
And then if you flipped it up, though, then there could be a separate one that just says hungry.
Oh,
It's just like an emotion shirt. Just like, what are you feeling and what are you doing?
yeah, it's like a status. It's like a status shirt.
Yes. There might be various little windows, and you have to open the one that you're feeling. That could be very helpful for some people who I can't read, other people.
I think we just helped them.
Yeah, I think we did.
You're welcome.
Face shirt. The status
Face shirt. And then once in a while it's like it's just blank, it's just dark, and somebody's like, well, what's going on with your shirt? And you're like, it had an outage.
How did that?
You're at work shirtless, and they're like, hey, this is inappropriate. You're like, hey, face shirt had an outage.
Sorry.
Okay,
Face shirt is having
Face
an
shirt's
outage.
down.
Face shirt's down.
Oh man. Well, I guess flirting knew what they were doing by sponsoring us, because I had no idea where this was going. It ended up in a pretty good place. So,
Yeah,
Very
not
helpful.
bad.
all right. Well, thanks, flirting.
Thanks, flirting.
When you're left with a stain, you're so damn fed up that you gotta complain. Write a letter, you'll feel better. Reviews.
All right. Well, for this week's shishi topic, I'm going to do photo filters. We're going to review photo filters for our last review of
Nice.
the podcast. So, Tone, what do you
Nice.
think about photo filters?
Well, the first thing I think of is there are now filters that you can take a man and put a filter on it I think it's on Snapchat, and you can make yourself into a woman.
yeah.
And it works very well.
I did the man, and I looked exactly like Wopsle.
Right.
Well, didn't I send you guys the one? I did it, and I looked. It was a picture of our mother. It was just
Yeah.
mom.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wopsle, what are your thoughts?
I don't know if these are the same filters you're talking about, but on Instagram, you have the ones that like, what animal are you? And it'll like change your face into that animal.
Right.
And me and my 4-year-old son will just sit around and do those and just cackle at the top of our lungs for hours at the different things that it says
Right.
and makes us and do. So I don't think I've ever posted a photo of a filter with a filter applied, but I just sit
Right.
and play with them all the time. So I'm a fan.
Yes. I have posted a couple. One time I had a really bad migraine. I pulled up my filters on Instagram and I took a picture. Like, it's one of those that makes you look beautiful, right? That's all it's for, is to make you look beautiful. And I still looked like it erased the wrinkles, but I still looked really, really in pain. So I was like, you can't take away the pain of a migraine. They need to make a filter for that.
A migraine filter.
Anyway, what is your favorite filter? So when you're sitting there with your kids, that's what's fun, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting there with your kids
Yeah.
and doing them together. Well, my kids are too old for that. And every time I'm sitting there playing with the filters and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. And I turn it around, you're like, Mom, that's so old.
That was funny 2 weeks
anymore.
ago, so you need to
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. But you remember when they first came out and all it was just making you look like putting an animal ears on your head or a little
Right.
button nose and stuff. I don't really like using them because it doesn't look like me. And I don't like these dark circles that I have, and I don't like my jowls, and there's certain things, but it doesn't look like me. So I'd rather just take a really good, take 15 pictures to get one good one to post than
Right.
use a filter and change the shape of my jawline.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do it by old fashioned trickery rather than digital enhancement.
Light angles and sucking in is the OG filter. That's what we used to filter when we were kids.
That's right. Yep. That's where the duck face came from, I guess.
Right.
Maybe.
Tony does a good duck face.
Thanks. It's one thing that makes it better is a lot of duck face people don't have a full beard and mustache.
Right.
And so it makes it just something about it. It makes it better.
It makes your lips pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Yushi. I don't like the filters that just like alter something slightly, but I do like the ones where they have that filter that makes your eyes really big and your mouth really big and kind
Yeah.
of changes your voice to be higher. I love
Yeah.
filters like that where it's just like way out, or like the face swap where you and another person are in the same frame, but it swaps your faces. I love the stuff like that
that's
where it's
good.
just like really weird.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's
Just
funny.
over the top strange.
Yeah. Like I feel like maybe filters were started to like enhance and make our photos look more pleasing. And then one day a whole sect of the filter community was like, what if we make it terrible and off-putting? And everyone,
Yes.
yeah. So that's
Make me look like a devil.
right.
Right.
Yeah, I do love those too. Like, especially, I really, really thought that my picture as a man, I was so handsome, and I was like, that looks like a real dude. That looks like a real hot dude right there. He's wearing a heart necklace and a button down floral shirt.
A blouse.
And,
That man is
But-
so attractive. He can wear a blouse and not
can
even.
wear-
Right.
because he's a rock star,
He can
obviously.
pull off a blouse.
Yes.
All rock stars can wear blouses. We know that.
Hey,
Yeah, I do like the ones that are the face swap. They have, okay, so if you go on the internet and look at face swap images, they have weird, like I don't know if they've improved it, but I know for a while there, they would swap you with weird things. Like there was one in particular, I remember that it swapped the face with a patch of the person's arm for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So they had no face and a face on their bicep.
That doesn't make much sense to me.
That freaked me out so bad. That was just terrifying for some reason.
I wonder if you can do a face swap with a sock puppet on your own hand. That would be
I bet
awesome.
you can.
Oh.
I think
now
anything
we're
that looks like
talking.
it might have two eyes and a mouth gets swapped. And of course, when I so my two kids, Maggie and Jonah, they face swapped one time and they kind of looked exactly the same, only just a little weird,
Right.
So it was like, I don't know. It's very unsettling.
I'm going to make my fist into a mouth and then draw two eyes on it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see if it'll face swap me with that. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
You know what? We should do that and post it to our social media because this topic is made for social media postings. The other stuff,
right.
sometimes we have to stretch and figure it out. But we can post 1,000 of these.
All right, let's post some.
And
face
no one will get annoyed.
I'll post my picture of my Wopsle face.
Hey, can I remind you guys of a filter? Whenever our mother applied the Walking Dead filter to her profile picture on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that when she was
I
a
forgot
zombie
about
and
that.
like just mom making herself a zombie is was fun but kind of weird for like your straight up profile picture. But this zombie was also holding up a kidney and like taking a bite out of it. This filter
Forgot about that.
the filter added a kidney to bite. And that was our mom's profile picture for like, I don't know, 4 years probably.
Yeah.
What?
Zombie eating a liver. And I was like, listen, I'm not down for posting that picture, but like the profile picture on Facebook, I'm not saying it's got to be a glamour shot, but like it needs to not be the zombie actively taking a bite out of a liver as well, I think.
Oh my gosh. I love her.
Mom is
love
mom.
our mama.
All right. Well, let's rate photo filters, guys. I think it's time. Tony, my BLB, what do you rate photo filters?
Keep it very simple right here. I'm going to rate photo filters a straight up 98 out of 102.
Well, like I said earlier, my biggest experience with these is with my son. So I got to rate filters 10 fun filters.
Yeah. You thought on that one for a long time there, Wopsle, and that's what you came up with.
Yeah, this is probably a fun peek behind the curtain to let everybody know we have been waiting for about 6 minutes in real time that will certainly be edited out, and that's where we landed.
That's awesome.
It just sometimes it be like that, you know?
That's right.
I think I'm going to rate photo filters 4 out of 5 teddy bear ears.
Yeah, teddy bear ears.
Because I love those ones where they turn you into a little cute animal, a little woodland creature. Well, that's going to do it for us this week, guys. Thanks for joining us for episode 69, dudes.
Yeah, we love our listener suggestions. Like Jonathan today became podcast famous for suggesting hotels. If there's anything burning in your mind, then let us know that you want us to review it. And like Tony suggested, let us know how you would review it. And if you do that, we'll share that review on the podcast as well.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. And and of course, don't forget to mention Jonathan's last name, which is Mosquito. Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Jonathan Mosquito. Also, we want to thank the band Bugs for letting us use the song Reviews as our theme song. Please go like their Facebook page and send them a pair of shoes. Mail them to Australia. Yeah.
So you can hit us up on our social media, and I guess we'll see you next week. Until then, I'm She.
I'm Tone.
And I'm Wop.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye. This is the podcast.
You'll feel better.
Okay, cool.